2008 election, candidate Obama made three little words his rallying cry.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Well, in his new book, No, He Can't, syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough says Obama got it all wrong. Kevin is joining me now. Kevin, welcome. It's so good to have you here.
It's an honor to be here.
And, by the way, by full disclosure, I wrote a little squib at the back of this book because I was fascinated by it. You have taken the Obama presidency and kind of analyzed it from soup to nuts, but there's something that I think is significant from your perspective. You were the very first person in America that said Barack Obama would end up being president. You said this in 2006. Nobody thought Barack Obama,
no, I got laughed at.
Barack Hussein Obama, would never be elected president of the United States. So what was it you saw in 2006, a year or so before?
I got laughed at. I was doing the Ball for Life. I was emceeing the Ball for Life here in New York, and Kellyanne Conway, Fox guest, comes up to me and she goes, "So, Kevin, who do you think's going to be the nominee?" I said, "Well, I think it's going to be Obama." She goes, "Everyone knows it's going to be Hillary." And I said, "Well, I think that Obama's going to draw a new map. I think his strategy is going to be different. But beyond that, what told me that he was going to shoot to stardom was his Senate run. And in the Senate primary, and people have to go back, Peter Fitzgerald was stepping down from the Senate. There were about 7 or 8 Republicans running. There were 7 or 8 Democrats running. And on election night in Illinois, Barack Obama, using his considerable skills as a speaker and with his charisma, got more votes out of the collar counties of Chicago, the suburbs that normally went Republican. He got more votes out of those collar counties than all of the other candidates in all of the race combined.
That's pretty significant. So you saw that, but what have you seen since then? Barack Obama ended up not only
different guy,
but the candidate. Different guy in what way?
Different guy. Well, because when you campaign on hope and change and feel good, we're going to make this place a better place, and then you don't do any of that, that's the biggest rule in politics in terms of losing. You can't do that. You've got to keep the promises that you make. So if someone comes away from one of your rallies going, "President Obama's going to fill up my gas tank, and he's going to pay my mortgage, and my kids are going to go to college, and I don't have to do anything," you better fulfill that, or you're going to be letting a lot of people down.
Specifically, how has he failed? Give me an example of something where the promise was a whole lot bigger than delivery.
Where would you like me to start? Let's go with economics. The unemployment won't be worse than 8%. He would give his right arm for it to go back to 8% about now. Let's talk about foreign policy, national security. Gitmo's still open. We're still in Iraq. We're still in Afghanistan. And oh yeah, now we're in Libya. After promising to reduce that footprint significantly. He's made promises to the left and to the right that he hasn't kept at all. And so what this book is just an examination of 4 areas: economics, national security, foreign affairs, social and moral values. You were on with Fox and Friends this morning. They were giving you a hard time about social values, and the governor spoke up and said, "No, pro-life, pro-family people still count in this country." Yeah, that's my governor. And then his accountability to us. That's the final section. And I think the fact that he feels like he is not accountable to the people, of course, that day's coming. That day's coming. I think the fact that he feels like he's not accountable to the people is probably the most arrogant part of his administration.
Kevin, what's the #1 thing that a Republican candidate going against Barack Obama ought to be able to use to challenge him?
I think that Republicans need to do a lot of due diligence, not in content. They're right on a lot of the substance. They need to get much more sophisticated about how they communicate and get messaging out. And I just got to say this from my heart. Anytime you write a book, it's a good feeling. But I would trade the whole feeling, all the success, the other stuff that I'm involved in, I'd trade it all away in a heartbeat if I had the opportunity to hear that there was going to be a Huckabee administration in 2012. I'd give it all away if I could hear. Because, Governor, one of the things that I think is really interesting is that you understand on some level communication that other potential candidates don't. And I think that the biggest vulnerability for him is someone that understands who he is as a communicator and can counter it, not with the normal compulsive knee-jerk kind of angry way, but winsome, Be right on substance, get the facts right, but also communicate to people just like you would if they were your neighbor.
Well, we'll see what happens, and I don't know yet. But I do want to say thanks to Kevin McCullough. By the way, here's a nice little thing. Everybody in the audience is going to get a copy of Kevin McCullough's book. No, you can't. And I know they're going to enjoy it, as will you.